we want to jump into what's it called, Richie? What we about to do?
Throwing bows down on them, boys. So let's just go ahead and get into it. We got a lot of UFC news here.
Yes.
First thing we're going to get into, last Saturday, we missed it. We weren't on air since. UFC 260 popped off, dude. And, there's some good fights on that card, but we really just got to talk about that main event right now, dude. Francis Ngannou made Stipe look like a child, dude. And we're talking about the baddest heavyweight of all time, dude. No cap. Like, literally, Stipe is goated in the heavyweight division. Francis, the first fight, it was totally polar opposite, dude. Francis looked gassed after about 30 seconds. And, Stipe just mounted him and, won that fight. This second time around, dude, Francis had the right prep, dude. He's been training in that Apex. UFC is doing him right. And he just went in there and smashed him up, bro. That first round, he dominated Stipe. On the ground, Stipe tried to shoot. Francis blocked it. Did not see that the first fight. He is developing. And then we just got into that second round, dude. He just got busy. And he walloped Stipe, bro.
Yeah, Stipe definitely went out a little down bad, I think. And
bad.
Stipe, I still think as of right now is the best heavyweight ever. There's
really, who's the argument against that in heavyweight?
Well,
honestly,
with Francis winning that chip, depending on what these next 5 years look like, man, I don't know if he'd lose it. If he becomes developed in that wrestling, in that ground game, the power's already there. We're never going to have to worry about with that from Francis.
Scary.
He's going to be able to starch people by the highest velocity we've ever seen.
Yeah.
But in that Stipe fight, man, he looked so calm and collective and just on point, didn't look too gassed, and just kind of gave it to Stipe. We've seen some things too now of a possible Francis Derek Lewis, little black beast.
Well, so let's talk about that real quick. So Francis was offered that fight, and it was going to be immediate turnaround because Francis took no damage, bro. Like, literally, I think Stipe landed 4 punches, and none of them were significant. Like, no damage. But so that Derek Lewis fight was offered for UFC 263. Right. Derek Lewis is ready and honestly does deserve a title shot at this point. But Francis declined just based off of timing. He said, I'm just not going to be ready by then.
Yeah, I wants to let it soak in that he's the champion, hold on to that for a little minute. He deserved it. He earned it. And probably doesn't want to get right back out there and have a chance to lose it. Probably just wants to have that gold sitting at home for a little bit.
Take it home to mama.
Yeah, take it home to mama. Let your country see that. Raise it up. Got 3 between Izzy, Usman, and Francis Ngannou now. Got 3 champions from Africa.
Yep.
That's awesome to see. But looking at that Derek Lewis fight, I do think Derek Lewis deserves it. We've been seeing some rumblings now. We don't know potentially what that means for John Jones. I know there's been some news with John Jones right now. Asking price for that fight. Dude's asking around the 10 milli range to go. But they're going higher. I did see
John Jones legitimately sat down and asked for $50 million for that fight. Which, let's go ahead and talk about that now. Does he deserve it? Yeah. That gate is going to be incredible, dude. And Steve-O actually has a podcast called Wild Ride. I don't know if you peeped that, but John Jones was on it last week. And I was just listening to him talk about it. And he truly believes in his head, and I don't think he's wrong, that this could be bigger than McGregor versus Mayweather. Like, this could be the fight, dude. Like, we're talking just combat sports. And John Jones believes that in his head. So he's not going to settle. And the reason John Jones retired was because he wasn't getting the money he wanted from the UFC, bro. And if we're being totally honest, UFC does not pay the fighters how they should. Fighters get about 18% of total revenue, bro. And we're talking professional sports, like NFL players are making about 50.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's just got to get bumped up. Dana White and the UFC realistically have a monopoly on, MMA. John Jones was talking about if he goes to Bellator, the money he would bring into that program or to that organization obviously would be huge. To anywhere he goes would bring in an incredible amount of money, but it will not compare to the UFC. It just won't.
Oh, not even close. And honestly, let's get something straight. No one, I don't think, will ever be a bigger draw than McGregor. That whole thing that McGregor pulled off with him and Floyd. Listen, I don't know if John Jones versus Francis hits that level. Pretty damn fucking close, though, dude. That would be a fight of the ages. Does John Jones deserve a $50 million pay cut to go do that fight? Yeah, I mean, I think he does. We're honestly talking about not the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time, not the greatest light heavyweight of all time.
We're talking pound for pound.
Ever. Like, Nunes is the only other person in that conversation, like, ever. Fuck all the rumor, this and that, shitty done, shitty person, whatever. Dude gets in that cage, he's an animal. But all this being said, though, I mean, it's like if Ngannou becomes ready and John Jones moved up the heavyweight to do this.
Well, and I think that's where the risk factor gets paid.
That's where you need to get paid. John Jones came up. He's probably the biggest star left in the sport besides whenever McGregor decides he wants to fight or not. I mean, this is John Jones we're talking about. You just had this guy that the UFC has been pushing for so long to be a superstar, and Francis Ngannou finally brings home the gold. You want the biggest money fight you probably could. I don't know. This might be the biggest fight ever in UFC. I mean, this is probably bigger than McGregor Diaz 2. I could for sure see that. No question. I mean, I don't think those guys can – John Jones alone can reel in the hype that McGregor does. I think McGregor is just a whole different animal. But – I mean, we're talking John Jones here versus Francis Ngannou. John Jones is a person people love to hate and would love to go watch that dude get his head knocked off.
And that's the thing, dude. Like moving up to heavyweight, he's giving himself that risk factor. I think it makes him a more enticing fight for him to move up. In light heavyweight, all respect to Jan Blachowicz, but no one in that weight class is going to beat John Jones. He's going to starch every single person in light heavyweight, and that won't change ever. Like, for real.
People think like that's not true, but like he's literally done it the past 10 years.
And we're talking about the best of the best.
Legend, bro.
Legends. So light heavyweight, no one's going to cap him. So for John Jones to make money, he has to move up. It's just the move. But let's talk about that matchup a little bit. John Jones versus Francis.
Listen, John Jones. I don't know, because I thought
stylistically, man, I mean, I got to give the edge to Jones just because he can toy with you in ways that no other fighters do. He's got that length and he's got that range. And usually you see a guy with really long arms has no idea what to do with them. John Jones was just made for this. Like, he's in there doing the right things, but just flip the other side of that coin, bro. I was so confident Francis was going to get fucked up by Stipe. He just went in there and dominated the man. So, I mean, that's a very enticing fight. Way more enticing than anyone in light heavyweight for Jones.
No, I mean, yeah, 100%. The only other fight could have potentially just been that Izzy-John Jones fight, but we saw Izzy come up to 205.
Again, matching that weight, Izzy's trying to move up. Jones would have to go down. That's just, I don't know if we'll ever see that fight happen.
Well, this makes me think, I wonder if we'll ever see John Jones go back down to light heavyweight. I mean, I don't think so. He's been at this heavyweight grind for about a year now. Makes me think
it's going to take a lot of shit talk for him to move down, bro. Like, he did it.
Yeah, he did the light heavyweight thing. Like, it's over. It's over. You can't argue it ever. Literally ever. I just think people sleeping on John Jones' legacy a little bit. But
I think part of it too is like, we talk about GOATs all the time. Every sport, it's just common talk nowadays. But like for real, like for that real. Is the guy,
the actual one. Like, he is the one. If there was just one, it's him, and then Nunes is right behind him somewhere. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be a crazy fight. That's going to be a huge draw. It'd be hard to think if that fight does happen and doesn't have fans. I'm pretty sure Dana would not want that.
He wouldn't make it. He wouldn't make it.
You just got to pay him. But I don't think Francis deserves $50 million, though.
No way.
But, I mean, what is his pay looking like? I mean, he's the champion. Does John Jones come into that fight as the underdog? Like,
what do you put
How did Stipe?
Stipe was the underdog for every one of his title defenses.
Makes no sense.
That makes no sense to me at all.
John Jones comes in like, there's no way John Jones could be the underdog.
They would probably give it to Francis, bro. Having the belt, based off his activity, I feel like he would be the favorite. But like, yeah, just looking at it from a view, like, how do you not see John Jones just smashing folk, man?
Yeah, I can see him smashing him up. I just think, I mean, obviously Francis has the power, but John Jones has that chin. I know he's got little tiny legs too, but them legs hold up, man. And we don't really see Francis checking like that. John Jones, to me, just has too big of an arsenal. He can fucking come out.
You said it too, bro. That chin. Dominic Reyes tested him, bro.
Yeah, he touched him up a little bit, bro. John Jones wasn't moving, bro.
Tested him. So definitely full package. Super. I just want to see him fight again. Like, just let's come to a deal, whatever it is, make it happen. I would just love to see it. So we'll go ahead and move off of that. A little more UFC.
Shout out Sean O'Malley. Knocking folk out.
Sean O'Malley, dude. And he claims he's still undefeated. I call that a loss on that. But yeah, no, shout out. That was actually a good UFC pay-per-view. 260 as a whole, very good. I don't got any numbers on it. I just wanted to hit that main event piece. But that was a good little card there. Moving up, UFC 261, dude. Talk about stacked up on the card. Main event, we got Usman versus Masvidal 2 for the title. Don't think that should be a title fight for Masvidal. Does not deserve it, but he got it. Co-main event. Co-main event, we got Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas, and that's going to be also a great fight. And then third up on that, we got Shevchenko versus Andrade, dude. That is going to be just all three of those fights are going to be insane. So let's start with that main event, Usman versus Masvidal. What, dude? Like, how does Kamaru Usman just not smash him again? He is way better fighter than Jorge, 100% in my opinion. Right.
I mean, listen, 100% overall better fighter. Love Street Jesus.
I think there's a money fight.
Love Masvidal. Clearly a money fight. I'm not saying I don't think Masvidal doesn't belong in that octagon with him, but there's no indication to me that what happened in the last fight won't happen again or something along those lines.
Well, what happened since for Masvidal since he had that title shot? He had that Ben Askren knockout.
Should have been Colby in there, but I mean, at this point, I'm sure Usman probably doesn't mind this fight. I mean, he knows he can probably starch him, and it's going to be a nice little payday. Masvidal is going to get views on your pay-per-view 100%. So I don't think it was the right fight. Honestly, I don't think Masvidal deserves it, but get that bag, get that W, Usman. Usman wins 2-3 more fights, brother, with that championship. He's like in that conversation, dude.
Well, we're talking welterweights, yeah, dude. I mean,
I just think the level of talent at that weight class is just one of the weaker ones.
That's the argument. And like, obviously, just look at this fight here. I mean, Masvidal's really up next. Like, how is Colby Covington not deserve that?
Right.
Whatever, but that just is what it is.
Wow.
Next up, we got Weili Zhang versus Rose, man. And like, first snap take here, dude. Weili Zhang is going to go in there and smash some hammer fists on her head. But Rose, her entire career, has just been able to be that underdog and just get W's. So this is a very interesting fight to me, bro.
Yeah, no, I actually really like this fight a lot. First of all, I want to give all the flowers in the world right now to Weili Zhang. Fucking scrapper little girl, dude. Just a beast of a woman. We saw, honestly, top 2, maybe 1, the greatest fight of all time. Her and Joanna.
Yep.
And obviously we've seen Rose come off a big dub. And I mean, I like Rose a little bit from the stylistically because, you know, just being bigger, a little more lengthy. I think is going to force Weili to close the gap on that a little bit. But Weili has shown, dude, that she's so quick with those mitts, bro. She can just touch you up. So
her jab, like, hurts. It's a full punch. It's just bop. I
mean, hey, listen, Zhang Li, she's the champ for a reason, bro. That chick is a scrapper, all in on that train. I don't know. That's going to be an awesome fight because Rose has that grip, man. Rose ain't no sucker. She goes in there and lays it out. She's a scrapper. But Weili, man, phew, she's like about 4'11" on him, bro. Just knocking folk out.
Scary, bro.
That's going to be hype, brother.
Talk about another scary lady, dude. We talk about Nunes. We talk about Jones. Like, who are you going to put in front of him next? I mean, you could say the same thing for Valentina Shevchenko, bro. I mean, so she's going up here against Jessica Andrade. You know, she's going to get starched.
Yeah, bro. No, I think we're at a level.
Shevchenko.
See the same thing that's kind of happening to Nunes. I mean, obviously, I do think Shevchenko behind Jones is one of my favorite fighters of all time. And she did fight Nunes twice and lost those. So she'll never be above Nunes in that conversation.
Yeah. Yep.
But if we're talking pound for pound, like she's right there. She's right there. Valentina Shevchenko's right there in that conversation. Went to that weight division after those couple bouts with Nunes and never looked back. Got that belt and has just been stomping these women out. I think we're at a point too where I like Jessica Andrade, but what do we think is really going to happen here? Valentina Shevchenko is just cut from a different cloth, brother. Little Russian chick, bro. Just badass, bro. Like she's just badass, bro. I don't know what it is about her, bro. Love watching her fights. Still won Amanda Nunes too. She won that fight, bro. I'm telling you. But yeah, I mean, John Jones, Amanda Nunes. She and Shevchenko's right there, dude.
Yeah, I mean, leave all the GOAT talk out of it, but like talk about who are you gonna put in front of them for the next fight? Like you're running out of options.
She's the best fighter on this card. Pound for pound.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's not wild at all. So yeah, UFC 261 next couple Saturdays away, bro. That is a cracked card, dude. That is hype.
Right, we got Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman too. Be nice to see that boy Weidman back in the cut. That's a great card, bro. So hyped for that.
Yep, that'll be good. So we got two little lightweight bouts here to talk about before we get out of here. So coming up after 261, obviously at 262, we got main event lightweight vacant title on the line. Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler, bro.
Oh boy.
And this is the matchup.
Yeah.
So I mean, Oliveira's been running train. He's been doing it in the UFC, going in and out, just winning fights. And then a couple of weeks ago, we were just talking about Michael Chandler, bro. And he went and did his thing in Bellator, came over to the UFC, starched his first fight, and he's just immediately here for the title. So Khabib is officially out, officially tired, officially left that title vacant. And it's just time to move on to the next champ. And it is going to be one of these two men.
Yeah, and I think both these guys are very, very deserving of this spot. Maybe a little premature for Michael Chandler. But
definitely a little hype, but he earned it. He earned
that hype, and especially if he goes in and pulls that off. I mean, I don't think we've really seen the guys come from Bellator into the UFC and kind of take over like that. We've seen some guys go from UFC to Bellator and have success, Gegard Mousasi and guys like that. But, Michael Chandler come in. I do like him in this fight, man. He looks so good. Last time he fought, I forgot homeboy's name. Who did he even fight, bro? Totally blanking on that. But
I'm really blanking on it too, bro. That was just a couple weeks ago. We are just talking about that. But
Charles Oliveira, bro, ain't no sucker though, dude, bro. That bro's been running train on these folks.
That's the fight to make in lightweight.
That's going to be a scrap, dude.
Yeah,
is that the main event for that card?
Main event, dude. That's for the title. Main event. Rest of the card's a little bit undecided still. Huh?
155?
At the weight? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, bro.
No, that's the fight to make, bro. It's just a great matchup. That's going to have great draw. But talking about that lightweight division, another fight announced not till UFC 264, but we got McGregor versus Poirier 3, man. Rubber match. And, just talking about that real quick, obviously the hype is going to be there. I would like to see them shit talk each other. And just for the reason of bringing in that viewage.
Yeah, McGregor needs to cut out this cookie cutter McDonald's shit, bro. Dude needs to get in there and talk about busting out the red panties, dude. Who the fuck is that guy? Like,
I think he got humbled, bro.
He got a little humbled, bro. We saw it with the Cowboy fight. Obviously, he went out there and starched up Cowboy. And then, he did the same thing with this Poirier fight. He was being all paying respects and humble. Like, nah, bro. Get in there and fucking talk that mess, bro. You're Conor McGregor. I don't think he could lose 5 more fights, bro. I don't think his legacy will ever be tainted. He's like the only superstar in that sport to have done what he's done, went and got that bag, had the whole world watching for like 3 years. It was just performing like a rock star, dude. Obviously the Khabib thing, and then, the Cowboy fight, and then this last.
No one's stopping Khabib, bro. It don't matter who you are.
It don't matter. No one's stopping Khabib, which is crazy to think, but this is the rubber match here. I think if Conor McGregor, I think they're just gonna watch the tape heavy. Go out there and try to do up a couple other things. I don't really know. I think more or less I don't know if we get the same result, but stylistically, they both know what each other are capable of.
Oh, yeah.
Great fighters, but I want to see McGregor just get that one, dude. Talk about the king is back, bro. I just want to see that McGregor come back, bro. Give me that 2015 Gregor out here, 2016.
I just want this fight to be a bit of a war, bro. I just want him to really go at it. I mean, we honestly saw Conor back off a bit, in that rematch. He wasn't really advancing, and that's kind of his thing, bro. He just advances and he gets in there, hits you all types of weird angles. I mean, just two incredible fighters. And let's not take anything away from Dustin Poirier, bro. Whoever wins 262 and gets that belt, Poirier's next. 100%. 100%.
Probably whoever wins that fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's next up for title shot. I mean, you're saying if McGregor beats Poirier?
It's got to be.
Shoot, yeah, I guess it's got to be.
Conor McGregor, they would give that to him.
That's 100%.
Fair. They would give it to him. If Masvidal is fighting Usman,
yeah.
They would give it.
See, they don't got no one to put in front of Usman, bro. I mean, honestly, they thought Colby was going to
go up to 170, dude.
Nah.
You think Usman starches him?
Yeah.
We're
talking gas tank. Dude.
Why don't we see McGregor Masvidal, dude? Street Jesus versus Mystic Mac.
I'll talk about money fight right there. Yeah.
Nah, if I think Poirier or Conor beat both of them folk.
Really moving up.
Beat Chandler and
oh yeah. See, that's a whole nother thing, man. I mean, Oliveira.
I don't think Conor should be fighting at 155 anymore. I think McGregor needs to be 170, but I don't know. To me, that's just he's looked his best at 170. He fought Cowboy 170. He looked just full. He looked good. He obviously looked jacked and stocked up the last Poirier fight, but he's lost to Khabib and Poirier at 155 to where I just don't know if that's the move for him anymore. But super hyped for that, bro.
Oh, dude, just UFC is just giving us buckets, bro. I mean, great cards to look forward to. And there's a couple fight nights coming up, too. I don't got the headliners, but there's a couple good fights I peeped.
Perfect.